Hello my friends, I can't believe it's the end of the year already. 2025 is almost over, so I'm doing my top 10 and top 5 videos for different categories of games. Today, we're going to be talking about my top 10 cooperative games. Here we go. Before I get to the moment you've been waiting for, I wanted to tell you about the Sell Trade program at Noble Knight Games. Now, as gamers, we all have games that are cluttering our shelves that we either don't have the right group for or might even not like it. Well, now you can turn those unappreciated games into cash or store credit. Noble Knight Games buys thousands of games and gaming products. It's easy to send them a list of the games that you'd like to sell or trade. Now they'll send you a quote and even pay for the shipping of the games. Get treated and paid like royalty while you sit back and collect cash or store credit. To get started, click the link in the description of this video or in that upper right corner there, and then click the Sell Trade button.
Number 10.
This first one is Animal Rescue Team. This is from Play to See Games. This is co-designed by Matt Leacock, who's done things like Pandemic and Forbidden Island, all the Forbidden series. He's a master at co-op games, and this one is no different. It's really good. Awesome theme, looks beautiful. You're working together with planning logistical things of where you're going and what you're bringing and who you're bringing and what vehicle you're driving to go rescue animals all over the city. And you're getting different bonuses for which rescue person's there for the certain animal or which equipment was used and things like that. But you're basically trying to rescue all these animals. There's a bunch of them coming out. There's new rescues coming out every round that you got to kind of stay ahead of, but they're going to allow you to win some tokens, which are then going to allow you to try to complete missions, because you got to complete 3 missions in time in order to win. It's one of those games where it's like, yes, it feels familiar. There's nothing absolutely new here, but the components, the theme, the way theme is integrated into the game, and just all the open communication of cooperative nature is why this one got its list, and it just looks amazing on the table. Animal Rescue Team.
Number 9.
This next one is a game called Love Conquers All from a smaller publisher, Guerrilla Games. And this is a game where it's a polyomino style game where you're trying to basically play all the cards out and get all the tiles out. Each player is going to have a hand of cards, and you play one down and you basically pick up that polyomino and you place it on the board. However, there's different rules on the cards, and as cards stay out there, or pieces stay out there, you have to follow those rules. And so as more things go out there, it gets harder to follow all the rules. But there are love tiles, where when you place them next to anything, those tiles, they get loved. They flip over and you remove their rules from the game, and so you're reducing the rules with love. And anytime you put a tile next to love, it also flips. So you're using these love tiles to flip over and reduce the rules, where all the other cards are adding rules. It's a really good cooperative game where you're trying to work together to kind of like place everything there. It's very interesting, very quick and easy, but very enjoyable. Love Conquers All.
Number 8.
Take Time is the next one. This is sort of a game that I talked about. I've fully reviewed this one, and it's kind of like The Crew and The Mind meets, because it's not trick taking, but it is a limited communication cooperative game where you're playing cards in turn order, but you don't really know what people are playing because most of the time you're playing cards face down. But there's like 40 different levels. Each of the levels takes like 5 minutes to play, and there's certain rules each level has. Like, hey, this has to have, there's 2 suits of cards. This one has to have this suits of cards. This one has to have this suits of cards. This one can only have 2 cards. This one has to add up to 10 or more. This one has to add up to more than that. And as you go around, they've got to be sort of in an ascending order. But there's different rules and such of different things you can do, and you're playing cards. Some of them can be played face up. And then at the end, you flip all the cards up and you see if you've won. If not, you try it again. If you do, you go to the next level. And so it's just one of those really clever sort of cooperative, limited communication card games. If you liked either of the 2 games I mentioned before, I think you'll probably like this, and that is Take Time.
Number 7.
The next one is Casino-opolis. This is sort of the next game in their Opolis line, like Sprawlopolis. Button shy games, these tiny little games that literally fit in your pocket. I think they're like 18 cards or something, these micro games. In Casino-opolis, there's each game you're gonna have 3 goals, and that's randomized. And that not only tells you what you're trying to do for the game, but it also tells you how many points you need to get to win the game. But then you have some cards that you're choosing from, and you're playing them out to build your basically Las Vegas. And it's a cooperative game. You can play it solo, but you can also play cooperative where the next player is then going to play a card. And you're trying to basically build Las Vegas according to the rules. There's also going to be like your longest road in the game is going to be the Strip, and there's a lot of different goals that say, hey, that have to do with the Strip. You're also trying to have multiple of the same type of icons or symbols like in a row on the Strip to get points. But then there's again the 3 goals. It's a very quick and easy game, but there's a lot of thought going in. It's so different every time, even though there's only 18 cards, because the 3 goals are different each game. It really forces you to play completely different every time you play the game, even though you only have the same 18 cards. And the order that they come out in is going to change things too. So if you like this little sort of city building game that's pretty light, but yet still has quite good decision making, and then that's Casinopolis.
Number 6.
The next one is a limited communication card game called Beasts. This is from Pandasaurus Games. In this game, you are trying to basically run out of all your cards and all the cards in the pile by creating numbers. There's a 3-digit number on the table, and on your turn, you're going to be adding cards, and you're going to be making sure that the number is higher than it was before you played. But one of the things you're trying to do is clear out numbers, because if you play in like the hundreds or the tens column, you can clear out things in any columns to the right, which will allow you to kind of play there again, because the numbers only go from like 1 to 9. So 999 is the highest number and 000 is the lowest number. So as you're playing these cards, sometimes beasts will come out, and these beasts basically hinder which ones you can play in which columns. It makes the game harder. But if you plan for them a little bit, you can kind of like push them over, sometimes even knock them out of the game so they don't affect you. But in this, it's a great limited communication co-op game where you have hidden information, you have your own cards you can't talk about, but you're trying to work together to be able to play all the cards. Really fun game, Beasts.
Number 5.
Alibis is a cooperative word game, similar to, say, Codenames, if you will. Now, in this game, there's basically different suspects out there, different amount depending on the amount of players, and you're trying to basically, you have secretly 2 of those suspects are yours, and you're trying to come up with a 1-word clue to link the words that are on those 2 suspects. And once everyone's done, you flip them over, and everyone's trying to figure out which 2 suspects belong to which person. Which one are they trying to link together? Because at the end, if you've done it correctly, there'll be 1 person left over that isn't connected to the end of the players, and they're the perpetrator. And you're trying to get the perpetrator. You'll get the most points if you get them. Each person's scoring depending on how many they got right, whether they got them all right, you got the perpetrator. And at the end of 3 total different rounds, you're trying to see if you have a certain amount of points. And again, this is kind of like Codenames, but it's easier to teach. It flows a little easier, and it's cooperative, kind of like the Codenames duet game. But everyone gets to be the clue giver in this game, which is interesting. And so, yeah, if you're looking for a small sort of pocket-sized game that plays kind of like Codenames, but it's cooperative, but you want everybody to be the clue giver, not just 1 or 2 like in Codenames Duet, Alibis definitely want to check out.
Number 4.
Okay, this next one is Micro Macro Kids. Yes, it does say kids, but the reason why I'm putting it on this list, it's not sure kids can play it. And sure, the map is a little smaller than the full games are, but adults can play this game too. And when I went through this entire thing, I took time of doing this, and some of them took me just as long as some of the adult versions did. And the reason why it's kids is because the theme. There's no blood or guts or murder, things like that. And that's the reason why it's kid-friendly. But it's still Micro Macro. It's basically Where's Waldo, the cooperative game, where you're going through different cases and you're trying to answer the questions and follow people around the neighborhood and try to see things in time and see, oh, where did they come from? They went from this apartment to here. Well, wait, something got stolen from here. Where did it happen? And you have to work your way back and find it. And it is just an absolute blast, and don't be scared away that it says kids. It's still fun for adults too. I had a blast with this, but you can play it with kids. It's kind of like a Swiss Army knife here of Micro Macro. It's like Where's Waldo, the cooperative game that you can play with kids. Great.
Number 3.
This next one is a very unique game. It is a pure no luck logic and deduction game where you play these bite-sized things. It's called A Carnivore Did It. There's like these little bite-sized rounds that take, sometimes 2 minutes, sometimes as long as 10 minutes. There's 2,000 cases in this game, 20 levels, and there's these, a certain amount of characters out there, and then each of them have something they say, like, hey, Peacock is lying. Hey, I did it. Hey, I didn't do it. Hey, a carnivore did it. Hey, this person, and stuff like that. And you're trying to work through the logic. Now, granted, this is a fantastic solo game. This game reminded me a lot of the game called Turing Machine. I actually like this one better because there's literally no luck. In Turing Machine, if you just guess a good 3-digit code, you basically could get a lot more information if someone didn't guess it. And I'm talking about like your first turn. And that could make it a little unequal. Here, there is none of that, right? It's cooperative. And so you're working together to try to do this. Now, cooperatively speaking, it is best with, I'd say, solo or 2. But with the harder cases, you might need more people. But you can also play this in a campaign mode where you're playing 8 series in a row and you're trying to score a certain amount of points. That's fun. But there's also a competitive version where you can play this and everyone basically does it on their own and you just keep track of who did it first and whoever got it right first wins. You can also do competitive with the campaign mode too and just keep track of scores. But this is a cooperative game list. That's why it's on this game, because mainly it's a cooperative game, but it can be played competitive if that helps you. And that is a Carnivore did it. Great deduction game.
Number 2.
Before I get to this next one, I wanted to let you know that I'm going to be launching my Season 14 Kickstarter for my YouTube channel to help raise funds for the channel. Now, this is the main way that I'm able to spend as much time as I do creating content for you. Now, there will be some awesome board game promo cards and some game bundles to get, and I'd really appreciate it if you click the little eye in the upper corner there and click to be notified when the campaign launches, or you can go to Kickstarter.com and search for Game Boy Geek Season 14.
This next one is from Stonemaier Games. Big, huge game that took them, I think, 7 or 9 years to make, called Vantage. This is a game where you are kind of like the computer game Myst, where you're walking around this beautifully illustrated sort of world, and you have a vantage of one thing, and you're reading to other players what's going on or what's happening. And there's certain things that you can do, and you know, you might walk and go see this. You might turn over a rock and see that. You might just leave and go somewhere else. You might use an item. But the thing is, you're going to be rolling to do some checks, and you always succeed, but it depends on how well you succeed. However, it's a cooperative game because depending on the type of task that you're doing, other players might have cards in their tableau that might allow them to help you with that role. And so that's the cooperative nature of this, is where you can help other people, you can plan for things, say, hey, you know what, you can go do that thing because I can help you if you do this color action, stuff like that. But again, just like the last one I just mentioned, it also plays very well solo, or in my opinion, best with 2 players or smaller player counts. More than 3, it's a longer game. So I like the solo or 2 players the best, but Vantage puts you in a world that is just huge, fun, and there's like a million different cards in this game. It's a fun little thing, exploration game to play with, and that's Vantage.
Number 1.
Before I get to the moment you've been waiting for, I wanted to let you know that Game Toppers is giving 15% off premium game mats and accessories specifically to my US and Canada audience using code GameBoyGeek15 off for a limited time only. Hear more about this at the end of my final thoughts.
All right, this one, and I'm going to apologize up front, this game is almost impossible to get. It was on the BGG Hotness very recently. It's it's a limited communication cooperative card game called Eternal Decks. I paid way too much money to import this game from Japan because it is coming out in North America, but not till like Q3 of 2026 from Portland Game Collective. They have it up for pre-order now, but I bit the bullet and just bought it and paid way too much for it. So it is a fantastic game. Most cooperative limited communication games are smaller, 30-ish minute games. This one's maybe only a little bit longer, 45 minutes maybe, but there's a lot more mechanically going on. You're playing cards in a row in different types of sequences depending on the game or the level, the scenario. There's 8 different scenarios in the game that all of them are very replayable, but they bring in new mechanisms, they bring out new ways to win, new things you can or can't do, new cards, new boards, all this sort of thing. But essentially you're playing cards from your hand. And a lot of times you're playing things where you can't play the same color next to each other. You can't play the same number next to each other. Sometimes you're going ascending, sometimes you're going descending, sometimes you're going even, sometimes you're going odd, and you're unlocking decks because if you run out of cards and you can't play something, you all lose. So you're trying to play cards to unlock decks and make sure the right person unlocks that deck, so now they have more cards and they're not going to run out of cards. Sometimes you can pass cards to players who are about to die. And it's just an absolutely fascinating game where you're unlocking these Eternals, and with those decks, you know which cards you're getting. You're also getting an ability card, but they also come with a curse that hinders you, like you can't play 6s anymore. Can't play greens or reds anymore. And so you got to play cards in other areas to be able to, remove those curses to allow you to keep playing. It's this game of rise and fall of tensions. It is just a fascinating game that if you like limited communication co-op games, but you always wish there was one that was heavier with more stuff going on, This is it. It's an absolutely beautiful design. I just recently reviewed this, so check it out on the channel, Eternal Decks. Well, I hope this helped you learn about some cooperative games you didn't know about, or if you had heard some of these, maybe you learned a little bit more about them. You can see which ones are for you. Most of these I've reviewed on my channel. You can check those out. It's been the Game Boy Geek, breaking down barriers, growing relationships with board games by helping you by the next one you love.
Game Toppers upgrades every game you play, being the one table to rule them all with Game Toppers, leg kits, dining covers, premium game mats, and more. And for a limited time only, my US and Canadian audience can get 15% off their premium game mats and accessories using the promo code GameBoyGeek15OFF. Also, go to GameToppersLLC.com to check out all the options or for worldwide late pledges of their recent 5.0 Kickstarter.